As the old adage goes, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. Same's true in the firearms community, fellas. These are very well-known firearms amongst the elite, including the Navy SEALs. The Sig P226 and now the Glock 19. Now they have a rich history, and we're gonna get out here and test both of these, see what the deal is. Now, I would never condone shooting at this distance, but I always like to see, you know, if I can reach out and touch something at a max of like 40 yards, give or take, just to see, you know, you never know. Let's try with the Glock. Glock 19. All right, now we'll give her a go with old reliable Sig P226. See if we have as much luck. Well, we got one. All right, so a big shout out to Federal Premium Ammunition. They sent us all the ammo we shot for this video, and we just want to say thank you for that. We want you to check out their combo packs. This is what they sent us. You're gonna get 100 rounds of full metal jacket practice stuff, and then you're gonna get 20 rounds of their HST hollow points. And that's a really cool feature because both of these cartridges are manufactured the same way. So you don't have to go out and practice with your hollow points, your self-defense ammunition. So you can go shoot these and feel confident that the hollow points are gonna function the same way. So definitely check those out, guys. And thanks again from Federal. I know a lot of people are gonna kind of jump on the comments and go crazy about, you know, oh, this is the best and I love this and da-da-da. That's fine, that's all well and good. Keep it clean, guys. The only thing I want to say before jumping into the video is I love both of these firearms equally. I love Glock and I love Sig. Most people that follow the channel know that I am kind of a Sig guy at the moment. I'm really digging the quality and manufacturing behind them, but that does not mean that I do not equally love Glock. They're all kind of just under the umbrella of awesomeness that, you know, we run here on the channel. Now we're going to start off talking about SIGs. I've been kind of on a bender lately. I really have just fallen in love with SIG overall as a company. I don't know whether it's maturity or growing up or just a change of taste, whatever the case may be. I absolutely love them. All the little refinements and features that SIG offers, they're just really quality firearms, and I really love them, to be honest. We're not going to do a thorough in-depth review. We'll get to that later on. That'll be a different video, but we're just going to kind of go over the brief history of these firearms and where they kind of come from and the background and history with them. Now this is the newest offering from SIG as far as the line of P226s they have, but this is the SIG Legion, and this thing is a freaking beast, guys. Like, I've been waiting for a really long time, probably like 4 months to get my hands on one of these. I had one on layaway and I just didn't have the money to put down to get it, but I finally got my hands on one and I have just fallen in love with it. Now, this is not a model that anybody specific as far as agencies are going to carry, but you got to figure that being the government, they kind of have the access to whatever they want. When they buy in bulk, they usually opt for like the cheaper models or the ones that are less expensive, so they can buy them in bulk and not have to worry about, you know, cost effectiveness. Now, they've been making these firearms since 1980, and that is just 36 years of this thing. And I've got to say,
from what I've seen and what I've read, they really have kind of taken over the line of firearms that SIG produces. This one is probably their best seller at this point. The 226 is widely known for being the SEALs, the Navy SEALs firearm, and for the last 20 plus years, that's what they've been carrying. Now, in my travels, and by luck of the draw, sheer luck, I've actually had 2 run-ins and become friends with 2 Navy SEALs. Now, neither of these are really close best friends or anything like that, but I have had a chance to kind of pick their brain and see what the deal was, because there's been a lot of speculation lately on whether Glock or Sig is the firearm that the Navy SEALs carry. Now, talking to these 2 guys, and I'm gonna, divulge my information as far as both of these guys are retired SEALs, so their information is obviously gonna be a little outdated per se, but the general consensus is that they're the Navy SEALs. They are elite, and they're supposed to have access to whatever they want. As far as if they need it to get the job done, they're gonna get it, and that's basically the bottom line on it. When it comes to a duty weapon, one of the Navy SEALs that I know, he is retired. He was active in the 80s, and he apparently carried a Beretta, a M9. That was his carry weapon, and he said that he didn't have a whole lot of flexibility as far as what he was going to carry, but that was what they had. That's what they offered. Now, the more recent SEAL that I've come into contact with and since become friends with, after picking his brain, he had been active in the late 90s, early 2000s, and what he told me was, and I quote, "They keep you happy." He says he can't speak for what it is now, so I'm going to be, totally honest about it. He said he's not sure how things operate now, but when he was in, they kept you happy. That was his exact quote. And to me, that implies that, they may have switched to the Glock, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they are currently using. Now, the big contention lately, and I gotta really give props to Glock, is that they have been making moves. I mean, as a company, they are making big moves, and props to them. They make an awesome firearm. This is a time-tested, true, awesome, truly well-made firearm. And I can't really say enough good things about it. This is probably my 2nd or 3rd most accurate gun. That's not saying anything else. My 938 is fantastic and I love it. But this thing, I am just really accurate with Glock for some reason. I'm not sure why. Couldn't tell you because the sights are terrible. But as the company is concerned, they've been making a lot of really big moves lately. They have snuck in and stole the Navy SEAL contract. They are, moving in again to renew the contract for the FBI, and that's kind of a big ordeal that we're going to get into. Glocks are great. They really are. I love the company. I love how they're kind of, taking a huge step into the firearms world. Not that they aren't already in the firearms world in a big way, but they really have kind of grasped hold and, really taken on the role of government-issued firearms. Now we've read and we've seen all over reports of how the FBI is switching their Glock, and I guess SIG was making a big play for it. A lot of people are talking about how the 320, the P320, was going to be the new firearm for the FBI. And Glock just really snuck in there and snatched that out from underneath of them, and that's awesome. Good for them. Their company's really fighting to keep that contract, and that's really, really cool. It's not to say that it's better than a SIG, but the way that it works is when the government goes to switch to a new firearm, they take bids from other companies. So, whoever it is, Glock, SIG, Springfield, whatever, it doesn't matter. All of them, they place a bid on a contract, and whoever bids the lowest, in secret, the government picks, and that's how they determine, generally speaking. So, when the decision was made to switch the FBI's firearm from Glock, and then they were going to look at the SIGs, that's what a lot of people were saying that they wanted. A lot of different FBI agents were leaning towards the Sig P226, and Glock said, no, we're going to do something a little different, and apparently they are coming out with a Gen 5 Glock, or something along that line. Maybe they're going to do a special edition Glock specifically for the FBI. Also included in that, the Navy SEALs. Obviously, they are apparently switching their firearm. Now, that's not to say, like we said before, that the SEALs aren't still going to carry a 226. Like my buddy said, they kept you happy. So, if you are issued a Glock 19, but you'd prefer to carry your 226, I'd have to imagine that being an elite fighting unit, you'd probably have the leeway to choose which firearm that you'd want to keep. That being said, I think that this will be the new firearm of the future for special warfare in the Navy. And that's cool. Good for them, because either way, they're going to be equally happy. Both carry 15 rounds. Both are great firearms. Both are super, super reliable. And, I mean, that really is a plus for whatever they decide to carry. Now, from my experience, both of these firearms are equally reliable. Neither one is more reliable than the other, in my opinion. If that was the case, the Navy SEALs wouldn't have carried a 226 for, as long as they have. They wouldn't have carried it for 20 years. And all these different law enforcement agencies and, active units around the world as far as military is concerned, they wouldn't have carried Glock. So both of these are very, very reliable firearms, and you're not going to make a wrong decision purchasing either one of these. Where you get the difference is plain Jane versus kind of work of art territory. That's where we're talking about with these things. All right, so all that ranting being said and done, the FBI, the Navy SEALs, all kinds of government agencies switching to the Glock 19, good for them. I still love the P226. That is a great gun. It really is. I think that the SEALs are still going to carry it. That's just my opinion. Who knows? I am not a Navy SEAL, so I can't say. But if I was to pick one of these two guns, which one would I pick? Honestly, if I'm going to pick one of these two guns to carry, it's probably going to be the Glock. And the reason why isn't because I like it more than the Sig. I love my Sigs. I really do. Obviously, I have two of them, so I love them. But the reason why is because with this one, holster wear, weight, all that stuff, it is just a beautiful gun. For me, I'm not going to carry this $1,200 gun around because I just don't want to scratch it up. It is too important in my collection. I just love them, and I don't want to see the wear and tear on it. It's going to be more or less a safe queen that I take out and shoot occasionally. I just really, really like this one. If I go ahead and make a purchase on a used Sig 226, I may carry that. Who knows? But for the time being, my winter carry gun is my Glock 19. It is super reliable. I'm accurate with it. I'm accustomed to the trigger and the way it operates. And like I said, it's not to say that I don't like the Sig. It's to say that for this one, I am less concerned about beating it up and putting wear and tear, and I'm not too concerned about slide markings and whatever else. With this one, I am. All right, so in conclusion, yes, the FBI is going to continue their contract with Glock. They're not switching anything. They're just switching, caliber and perhaps the pistol. Maybe they're going to carry a Glock 19. Maybe it's going to be a 17. Maybe it's going to be something we haven't even seen yet. Maybe something all new. Who knows? But in the future, the FBI will be carrying a Glock and continue on that trend, along with the Navy SEALs, presumably, because we obviously don't know. If you know a Navy SEAL or you are a Navy SEAL, feel free to comment, because I really would love to really have some closure on whether or not you can pick and choose what you want to carry. That would be great to find out. So make sure you leave a comment if that is the case. I still love both guns. Obviously, a lot of people do, and there's a big following for both of these firearms. You are not going to go wrong either way. If you have the money, go purchase both of them. Purchase a bunch of them, because these things are freaking fantastic. And they really, as far as SIGs are concerned, they really only keep and go up in value. I'm looking at a 226 West German, and that thing is still running like $600, and that's been around since the 90s. I mean, good Lord, how long does a firearm have to be out there before it loses value? Obviously, they keep their value, so buy both. Be happy. Love it. All right, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pike and tons of giveaways. Really cool stuff coming up. So make sure you're a subscriber so you get access to all that. All right, later.